All right, Assalamu alaikum, and welcome to another live episode of the Mr. Islam Answers Back show. Oh yeah, today we got another good and interesting topic to discuss. Let me give everyone a few moments to come into the room or come into the discussion. Let me send out a few tweets. All right, let's send out a few tweets on this. Always does that. Welcome to the room. Welcome. Just gonna send out some tweets so that everybody know that we have a live show going on. So I'd like to welcome you. Spread the word too if you got it. And your Twitter, your Facebook, your Instagram, whatever. Let everybody know that the show is live. All right, there we go. Okay. All right. All right. So yeah, like I said, we got a good topic today. Um, as you can see the title. Hopefully you can all see the title here. Uh, the title we're discussing is, you may have heard about it, the No Hijab Day. No, you're right on time. You're right on time. We just started. We actually just started. So you're right on time. But spread the word. Tweet this out. Let everybody know that the show is on and live. And let's go ahead and get started. Wa alaikum salam, brother Mo, Shaf, hypocrites and their lies. Welcome, welcome. Spread the word. Spread the word. Let's get this. Let's get it out. Before I begin, let me remind those who are watching live and those who may watch this at a later time that if you appreciate and you like the content that we bring you, I would greatly appreciate your support. As many other YouTubers have different platforms and things like that, and their viewers support their content, I ask that you would do the same. If you would like to support us, whether you're watching live right now or you watch this recorded at a later time, please avail yourself of the links in the description of the video. You can donate to support our work that we do, um, both here on YouTube and when we do, live events and such. Matter of fact, I got if some events coming up, I'll tell you guys about during the show. After the show, I got some things that are coming up, inshallah, in the next month or so. You can, like I said, you can support us in the work that we do and the content that we give you by using the links in the description of the video. You can make a donation through the various forms that you see in the links through our website. You can use your PayPal. You can become a Patreon. I'm looking for more patrons. Actually, right now I only have one. But if you want to support, make a pledge to support on a monthly basis, you can join our Patreon, and in so doing, you get access to exclusive content that's only available to our Patreon supporters. When you go to the Patreon link, it'll show you the different levels of support and what you get for supporting us on each level. If you would like to purchase our book, that helps us as well. You can purchase the book on Amazon. It's an ebook, or you can purchase the paperback version of it. You can purchase our DVD, which is we call a digital video book. It's the DVD of our work that we did exposing the lie called Takia, right? Takia, the lie they made against Islam. So, you got a number of ways to help support my platform and support the work that your brother, Mr. Islam Answers Back, tries to do. As I said, I'm in the talks right now of a debate, of two debates, or maybe more coming up. Um, One, inshallah, it may be around towards the end of this month. It's going to be like on a Christian radio show. They want to debate about, is Jesus, I believe the topic is going to be, is Jesus God, or something like that. Right? So inshallah, that'll be the end of this month. I'll keep you guys updated on, on when everything is settled, and I'll give you the exact date and time and all that stuff like that. I was also in talks with Matt Slick, a Christian who I've debated before. He wants to debate which is superior for salvation, Islam or Christianity. We are in talks about that. I'll keep you updated on that. The people who I'm debating on the Christian radio show, they also are talking about doing, after the radio program, doing a live debate in person, actual in-person debate sometime later on this year. I'll keep you updated about that. So the most recent ones coming up, inshallah, will be the one probably towards the end of this month on the radio program, and I'll let you guys know. So with that said, let's go ahead and get to the topic. Let me send out one more tweet. Let me send out one more tweet and let everybody know that we're live on the air. Let me do that one more time. One more time. One more tweet. And again, if you guys can send out some tweets, share it, let us know that we are on the air. Let me just check my what's the name real quick, make sure. That tweet came out right. If you're just joining us, we are just starting, so we're just starting. No, it did not come out right. I knew it. Okay, this one came out right, but it shows the wrong title. I don't know like why it does it. Whenever I'm doing a new show and then I tweet it out, it always still shows the title from the previous show for some reason. You know what I mean? It always shows the title and the picture and everything from the previous show. So I'm like, what is this? Always does that. Sorry, live right now. All right, let's get this thing started. Okay, let's get this thing started. Okay, so as you can see, we have the title, the No Hijab Day. I don't know if you guys heard about this, right? Have you heard about this? About the No Hijab movement or event that took place? I believe it was this Friday, right? It was this Friday. Yeah, it was this Friday. Basically, it was like a counter event because Friday was also World Hijab Day, right? Where Muslim women, were inviting other people to, share in the experience and wear the hijabs and things like that. So these anti-Muslim propagandists came up with this thing called No Hijab Day, which was a counter movement to that. And of course, it has all the anti-Muslim propaganda talking points connected to it, that Islam is, oppressive, the hijab is oppressive, etc., etc. Right? So let me address at least one part of it that we can agree on. One of their arguments is that in certain places, there are women who are forced to wear the hijab. Okay. Now I'll say this: I have no control over countries that force women to wear it, but as we know from Islam, the hijab is for the believing woman, number one. The verses are very clear that it instructs the believing women to cover. If you're not a believing woman, then I don't see how anybody could force you to wear it. Now, like I said, there may be countries that are doing that force everybody to wear it, which is not part of Islam, right? The Quran is clear when the verses talk about it. It clearly says the believing women, right? The verses clearly address the believing woman. It does not say make all women should. No, it says the believing women. And I'm going to come back to that point about this point, believing women. Okay, we're going to come back to that point. So number one, just right off the face of it, the Quran is clear that the covering is for the believing women. So if there are women in these countries who are not believing women, then they should not be forced to wear the hijab, because the hijab is for the Muslim woman anyway, right? It's for the believing woman, very clear. So I'm not in favor of women who are not believers wearing the hijab, right? They shouldn't be forced to wear it. Okay. So that's one of their arguments, right? Now, but here's where the deception comes in. The deception comes in that they're trying to make this seem like this is a Muslim woman thing, right? They're trying to make this like this is a Muslim woman's thing. But when you look at who's behind this, like for example, here, let me show you who's behind this. It appears from what I've researched is that this woman here is the one that is behind this, right? Yasmin Mohammed. If you look at her Twitter and in her description, her profile, it clearly she's an ex-Muslim. She's pushing, as you can see her name, Confessions of an Ex-Muslim. See her handle on Twitter, right? It's at Confessions Ex-Muslim. So these people are trying to run this game as if this is because and here's why I'm saying that. Let me show you. Let me show you why I'm saying that. Why I'm saying that they're trying to play this game as if this is something that Muslim women want. So if I scroll down on her page, let me show you. Right? And that was the other thing too. When she tweeted this out a few days ago, she had this thing trying to say, "Oh, this is not against Islam. This is not anti-Muslim. There are actually Muslim women in favor of this." And she posted two people who clearly are not practicing Muslims. One of them was what's her name? What's her name? No, that Nomani lady, Asram Nomani, I believe her name is. Right? She posted her, and she mentioned some other woman who also is clearly not a practicing Muslim, but they trying to play it off like this is a Muslim woman's thing. As you can see here, they show this lady take off her hijab, she burns it. I mean, like I said, if you're not a believer, then do what you want, right? If you're not a believer, then don't wear it. You know what I mean? Don't wear it. You know what I'm saying? Don't wear it. No need to wear it. If you're not a believer, don't wear it. So yeah, hey, can you see this, guys? Can you see this on the screen? This tweet right here, the one by Yasmin. You see it right there, the one in the middle right here. What does it say? It says listen to the words now. A lot of Muslim women want to be free from hijab and also burn it happily. Stop right there. Tell me something. Why would a woman who is a believing Muslim woman, why would she want to be free from hijab and burn it when in the Quran it says for her to wear it? Please explain that to me, Yasmin. So this is the deception that I'm talking about. If you guys want to put yourselves as a non-Muslim women movement, yet you hate Islam and you don't want women and you want to, burn your hijab, by all means do that. But please don't BS us and act like this is some kind of Muslim women's movement that don't want to wear it. Because I'm asking any Muslim woman, if you are a believer in Islam, why would you want to be free from it when this is, if you're a believer, that Allah says for you to wear it? This is what I'm trying to figure out. But you know what, brothers and sisters, there's nothing to figure out because we know these people are running a scam. This is a joke. These people are not believers. And again, I'm not judging your faith. You're telling us you're not a believer, right? So they're trying to put it like this is something that Muslim women want. So I want to ask, and matter of fact, if there is a Muslim woman who claims to be a believer and you want to be free from hijab, please talk to me. Please, I'll discuss with you. I'll discuss with you. I'll debate you, however you want it, right? We can have a dialogue about it. Please let me know if you are a Muslim woman. Why do you want to be free from hijab when Allah says you're supposed to wear it? Right? That's like me saying Muslims want to eat pork. Right? That's like me saying Muslims want to eat pork. Muslim, not disbelievers, but a Muslim. Muslims want to eat pork and we want to eat it happily. How are you going to say that when the Quran says don't eat the swine, right? How are you going to sit there and say, oh yeah, Muslims want to eat pork and we want to cook it and eat it happily? How can you say that if the Quran says you're not supposed to eat it? You see? So this is the equivalent of that. If you are a believer Muslim, no, you don't want to eat the pork. Not if you want to be obedient to Allah, you don't. Right? Not if you want to be obedient to Allah, you don't want to eat it. And eat it especially not happily. Right? Especially not happily do you want to eat it. That's like saying you want to happily, be disobedient to Allah. That's what that is saying. Right? That's what that's saying. That's like saying you want to be happily disobedient to Allah. You see? See what I'm saying? That's what that's like saying. That's exactly what that's like saying. You see? So what's this? But I can say if women don't want it, in the cases where there are women who commit major sins under hijab. I mean, yeah, that's not good either now, right? You know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm saying. This doesn't seem to be that type of situation. See, this doesn't seem to be the situation where these are, Muslim women who want to do wrong and are wearing the hijab to do the wrong under the hijab, right? Because we know when Muslims are not perfect. Yeah, you're gonna fall. You may sin or whatever the case may be, right? If a Muslim woman wants to take off the hijab because she doesn't want to bring shame to Islam, well, that's a whole nother intention. You see what I'm saying? That's a whole different intention. That if you say, look, you're a Muslim woman, for whatever reason you fall in, you fall in, your iman is low or whatever, and you feel that you want to go out and do something haram, but at least your faith is enough that you say, you know what, I feel like I want to do whatever wrong, but I don't want to bring a bad image to Islam, so I'm gonna take it off. So I'm gonna take it off because I don't want to do whatever I'm about to do and show that Muslim and bring a bad image to Islam, bring a bad image to Muslim women. That's a different intention than what these people seem to be doing. See, the intention of these people seems that they want to just they want to destroy Islam, right? They want to promote the oppressive thing. That's you see the difference. So if you're saying, look, I'm a Muslim, I believe, but right now I'm weak in my faith. So I'm about to go out, or I feel like I'm about to go or do something, that's not of Islam. But I'm conscious enough that I don't want to do what I'm going to do with looking like a Muslim because I don't want to bring a bad image to Islam. That's different. You see what I'm saying? To me, I mean, it's negative, but at the same time, at least it shows that you have some level of faith in you, that you're aware that what you're doing is wrong, but you don't want to shame the Muslims by or shame the image of Islam or Muslim women or whatever by doing what you're doing, wearing the hijab. But that doesn't seem to be the case with these people here. Their agenda is, take it off, have it removed, right? Their agenda here is take it off, have it removed, period. It's oppressive, it's bad, religion sucks, all these different, this is what the image is here, right? So that's a completely different intention than somebody who wants to take it off because they don't want to bring shame to the image of a Muslim woman. That's different. That's not these people's agenda. Their agenda is that Islam is bad, it's oppressive, the covering is bad, it's oppressive, it's better to uncover yourself. That's their agenda. See what I'm saying? That's their agenda. So that's a whole different case here. You see? So as you can see, as I'm showing you on the screen, but that's how they're trying to play it though. See, as you can see here, she says a lot of Muslim women want to be free. I can't understand that. So like I said, either right now, if anybody's watching this live show, or in the future, please contact me. Okay, I'll do another show. If there are any Muslim women, again, you need to be a believer. Don't come to me if you're an ex-Muslim. Okay, if you're an ex-Muslim, then no, I don't want to talk to you. I mean, I'll talk to you as far as like discussing a debate, but I mean, on what I'm asking, I need a Muslim woman. She said Muslim women want. So that means I'm challenging any Muslim woman who claims to still be a believer to come and tell me and us, and let's dialogue about this, why you want to be free from hijab. I will bring you on the show. We can do, I think, what they call a Google Hangout, or we can meet on Pal Talk or whatever platform that allows for, like a discussion. And I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you. I want to discuss. I want to dialogue with you and find out how you, as a Muslim believing woman, wants to be free from hijab. And we want to hear you out. We want to hear you out. We want to see how you make this make any sense, right? We want to see how you're going to make this make any sense, okay? But like I said, like the bro, somebody just said, these people are not real. They're not Muslims, right? By their own confessions, you see her name, Confessions of an Ex-Muslim. If you look at a lot of the tweets in support of this, many of these people are not Muslims. They're not Muslims at all, or they're running the ex-Muslim thing, or they're just haters of Islam, right? They're just haters of Islam. Usually, when you see the believing women are against this. Believing Muslim women have made tweets, and they're against it. They're not in support. I haven't seen any believing, practicing Muslim women in support of this no hijab thing. It's always the ex-Muslim, the anti-Muslim, the haters, the bigots. They're the only ones that are in favor of this. But I haven't seen any believer, Muslim woman, practicing, say that she's in favor of this. Like I said, the people that she tweeted, Asra Nomani, this lady's not no practicing believing Muslim woman. They can play that game and see they use this. They try to, for what I've seen is that they're using this, that they try to run this game that they're still Muslim yet they're anti-Muslim, because it, I guess, to the haters, it's like impressive to say, oh wow, look, see, here's a woman who's still a Muslim, but even she hates Islam, which of course doesn't make sense. How could this person still be a Muslim but speak bad about Islam? Then why are you still practicing this religion then? If you hate it so much, then just declare you're not a Muslim and do your thing. But see, they're playing this game. They're playing this game that, oh yeah, we're still Muslims, but Islam is oppressive. We hate it. I'm like, you're not making no sense though. Who's that fooling? That's not fooling no Muslims. We're not impressed by that. You're not fooling us by claiming that you're still a Muslim, yet everything you do and say is anti-Islam. That's the game that they're playing. What's that other girl's name who was doing that some years ago? You know her name? What's her name? She's from, I think she's from Canada. What's her name again? The Indian chick, Indian Pakistani chick. Anybody remember her name? What's her name? I forgot her name. I haven't heard from her in years too, but anybody remember her name? Come on, you guys know who I'm talking about. She's the chick from Canada, Indian. I think she's Indian Pakistani. Man, what was her name? She was kind of popular a few years ago, but I haven't heard from her lately. What was her name? Man, she had the short haircut. No, not her. Not Ian Hersey either. It's another. She was from, I think she's from Canada. What's her name? Man. Oh wow. Can't remember her name. I think it was something Isra Khan or something like that. What was her name? But I haven't heard from her in a while. I haven't seen anything from her in quite some time. What's man? No, I don't think it's Sarah Hyder. What was that? What was her name? Hmm. Man, I can't remember. I can't remember it now. But she was kind of she had some popularity. Let me see. Let me see. Let me check. Let me look. I don't think it's her, but let me look real quick. Sarah Hyder, right? Let's see. I don't think that's who it is. Sarah Hyder. Let's see if this is her. Okay, no, that's not her. Not Sarah Hyder. Man, what was her name? Let's see. Let's see. Damn, what was her name? Oh man, wow. Muslims. Let's see. Let's No, not her either. No, we dealt with her either. No, no. She was Indian. She's Indian Pakistani, I think. No, not I think I know. Man, what was that? All right, maybe you remember. She fainted one time. She was on some show and she fainted on the show. What was her name? Anybody remember her name? No, not her. Not her. We talked to her about her before. No, and plus she's European, I believe, right? Or she's from Lebanon. That girl right there, Cyrus. No, not Cyrus. She's Indian Pakistani from Canada. Oh man, what was her name, man? What was that chick's name? I can't remember her name. She used to run in those circles though. Let's see. Trying to think which how I could look her up. Uh, what was her name? I can't remember her name. Man, I can't remember her name. Hmm. Was it Isra? Oh man, somebody got her know who I'm talking about, man. Somebody has to know what I'm talking about. Sharuk Khan? No, that's not the name. That doesn't ring a bell either. Hmm. Hey, everybody who's in the room, welcome, welcome. All people who just came in, welcome to the room. Man, what is her name? Come on, somebody got to know it. Somebody got to know her name. Oh, wow. I can't remember how to look it up either because I don't remember like exactly. Uh, hmm. Let's see. Let's see. Let me see. Maybe if I put Muslims against Islam, let's see if that shows anything. What was her name, man? But see, that's the thing. I haven't heard from her in years, though. That's the thing. I haven't heard from her in years. So I don't know what happened, what become of her. I'm sure she's probably still out there. Let's see. Let's see. What was her name? Come on. Let's see. Muslims against Islam. Come on, they gotta show me somebody. Man, what was her name? She was, I think, like I said, I believe she's Canadian, Indian, Pakistani. She's one of those people who claims that she's still a Muslim, but she runs around with all, she runs around with all the anti-Islamists. She's don't she does she did programs with them, you know. Oh man, what was her name? Man? She did all these shows with them and everything. She wrote some books, real popular. She was real popular at one point, but hmm, I don't know. We'll just have to come back to it some other time. Henna? Could that be it? Well, what's her full name? What's her full name? What's Henna's full name? Well, you know what? I think she was on. She may have been on. Yeah, yeah. I think she may have been on Bill Maher's show. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I believe she was on Bill Maher's show. That name Henna sounds familiar. You remember her last name though? Okay. All right, but yeah, I forget. We won't take too much time. But yeah, but basically, what my point is that she was one of these people who was running around, doing all these shows and documentaries and everything like that. They would feature her in documentaries against Islam. But her thing, instead of her, see, what she did was instead of claiming to be an ex-Muslim, she claimed that she was still Muslim. But she was running around with all the haters. She's running around with Robert Spencers and the Pamela Gellers, and she was doing documentaries with them about how Islam is bad and it's this and it's terrorism and that, but claiming that she was still Muslim. She didn't wear hijab, of course, but she was running that game that look, I'm still a Muslim, but even I say that Islam is evil and this and that and that. And I'm like, wow. So that was one of the games that these people play is to act to pretend that they're still Muslim, yet all their information is anti-Islamic, anti-Muslim. They go along with the haters, demonizing Muslims, demonizing Islam, but yet still claiming that they were Muslim. So I'm like, why don't you just say you're not Muslim? Why are you running around? Because even to the haters, I'm sure you look stupid, right? Even to the people who hate Islam, you must look stupid because you're saying that you're still a Muslim, and yet here you are with them talking about Islam is evil and this and that, but you're still claiming you follow that religion. Surely the haters must be like, this woman is a jackass, because if you hate it so much, why are you still claiming to be one? But that's part of the game, everyone. That's part of the scam, right? That's part of the scam. Yeah, same thing with, yeah, there you go. You know what? He's even better example. This Imam Tawhidi dude. Yeah, he's an example of that too. Claiming that he's still Muslim, yet he agrees with the white racist bigots that, oh yeah, Islam is evil and Islam is that. So I'm like, bro, why don't you just say you're not one of us? Right? Because you look like a jackass talking about Islam is evil and this and that, and the Quran promotes blah blah blah, but yet you're still claiming you're some kind of imam. So why don't you just say, hey, you know what, guys, I'm not a Muslim, and leave it alone, right? But no, he's claiming. But see, because I think the reason why they do that, because they probably think that it gives them credibility, because all people have to say is like, hey, see, look, he's a Muslim, he's a believing Muslim, and even he says that Islam is evil, and even he says that the Quran is this and that, and so I think that's why they perhaps play that game. But I wonder if the haters are fooled by that. Some of them seem to be. Some of them seem to be, because they seem to laud. They lauded this person. They lauded Tawhidi and the other lady that I forgot her name. Right? They laud these people. Right? And here's another thing too, is that clearly somebody sponsors these people. Right? These people get paid. They get support to promote the propaganda. You see? This is why I always stress to you, brothers and sisters, that we who are trying to defend Islam and to put out the truth, support is essential. Right? The difference is that these people many times have big backers behind them, corporations, or people who are very wealthy with an agenda, who support agendas like that. You see? Many of these people have backing. Many times on my Twitter, I have this tweet that I post that shows how this big Jewish millionaire guy was donates money to anti-Muslim propaganda organizations and stuff. See, no, we don't have that, right? I don't have anybody who is wealthy and says, hey, Mr. Islam, I like the work that you're doing. I want to support your platform. We're the Muslims with the wealth who are willing to do the same thing. You see, these people are support, and I don't put out no propaganda. Let me make that clear. I don't put out no propaganda. So if somebody does, if somebody wants to step up like that, if anybody's listening and you are a wealthy person with millions or billions of dollars and you want to be like how these people support the haters, first understand that I don't put out propaganda. I put out the truth. All right. So if you want to support me because I put out the truth. I don't put out propaganda. I put out the truth about what Islam, as those who follow me already know. When I put out information, you already know that I show the facts. I show the facts from Islamic sources. So I'm not just putting out no propaganda to try to appease the West or whatever. I put out the facts. I show my evidence for what I say. Okay, so let's make that clear. Whoever's listening, whether you're a hater or not. Okay, but I always wondered over the years, because as you know, many of you who follow me, I've been doing this for years, man. I've been debating for years. I have my YouTube platform for years, and unfortunately, I still struggle to get support, man. Yet I keep looking. It frustrates me because I keep looking and I'm saying, damn, these people are getting support, man. The people who hate Islam, the ex-Muslims, the people who are never Muslim but claim to be ex-Muslims, they have a platform and they're getting support. There's people backing them, man. Matter of fact, you know what? No, well, George Soros. Well, I mean, he supports more of he's known as the supporter of the liberal Democrats and stuff like that in the United States. Right? He puts his money into that kind of stuff. So he's more or less known for that. But let me see. Let me talk about this tweet that I'm talking about real quick, right? I always post it on my Twitter. So if anybody's on my Twitter and follow, you'll see that I always post it from time to time. Let me get it real quick. Let's see what it says. It says, there was a big article about it. Right, here we go. It says, major Jewish leader spent 1 million on secret group painting anti or promoting anti-Muslim campaign ads. One man giving $1 million in money to groups and stuff that promote anti-Muslim campaign ads. $1 million. To what? To promote anti. Where's the Muslim or Muslims who want to support the pro-Muslim ads? Right? We gave $1 million to promote anti-Muslim propaganda. Right? What's this? Do they show his name? I don't know if they show his name. But that's the thing with these people, is that you better believe they have people backing them. That's why they're out there like that. That's why they're in the media and the news and everything like that. Because there's somebody backing them. Right? There's somebody who backs them to put out this propaganda and this misinformation against Islam. You feel me? All right. It's down to its Orientalism. Islamic civilization is the only way to stop the European war. Yeah. Well, they hate Islam, right? All right. But so let's get back to the subject. I don't want to take too much time on that. But please, so while I said that, please avail yourself. Support your brother, man. I know you guys like my content, and I'm trying to do the best I can to be more consistent. But please support your brother. We need the voice that speaks for Islam, the voice that has the facts. Because I'm always with my facts in my work, right? You see the work that I do, I always bring, as they say, the receipts, meaning the evidence to support what I say, to back it up and prove that Islam is not what they claim it is. So support your brother with anything, man. Even if it's a small amount, the links are right there, brothers and sisters. So again, whoever watches this now, or if you watch it in the future, the links are always available for you to donate anytime. But understand that it's essential. All right, so now back to the subject is that, as I said, the reason why I'm calling it a deception is because, as you can see from the tweets on the screen, that this is the game they play. Talking about Muslim women want to be free from hijab and burn it. Now, first of all, why would you burn it? That's like a sign of disrespect, right? Why would a Muslim woman, like I said, want to be free from hijab and also burn it? Because that's even showing more disrespect. Right? That's like saying, why would you want to burn it? Why would you want to show respect to something that you supposedly believe in? But as everyone in the text is saying, these people clearly don't believe. They're clearly not Muslims. Right? They're clearly not Muslims. Because no Muslim would want to do that. That's like me saying, again, that's like me saying, yeah, I'm a Muslim and and I hate the Quran and I'll happily burn the Quran. No, why would I want to do that? That's clearly disrespectful, right? That's a sign of disrespect. So why would I want to burn it? Why would I claim that I'm still Muslim, but I want to eat pork and happily eat it, especially happily, right? That's adding on to the mockery and the disrespect. So this is a game of deception that's going on here, where they're trying to act like this is some kind of, for Muslim women. No, this is not for Muslim women. These are for people who don't want to be Muslim. So I'm saying, look, then that's the case. Then don't be Muslim. Then don't be Muslim, but don't play like this is something that's in favor of Muslim women. So if you're not a Muslim woman and you don't want to wear hijab, then don't wear it, yo. Plain and simple, don't wear it, but don't come with this game that you're still a Muslim and you don't want to wear it. Because how would you be able to reconcile the fact that the Quran says to wear it? Matter of fact, let's address that. Let's go to that. Let's deal with that fact. Because that's some of the other argument that they try to make, that supposedly the Quran doesn't talk about this, and so let's address that fact. Let's put an end to this. All right, here we are in the Quran, chapter 24, verse 31. Okay, chapter 24, verse 31. The Quran is clear that what is called hijab is supposed to be the Muslim woman's covering, which is her kimar, her head's covering, and the jilbab. These are clearly talked about in the Quran. All right, so there's no way around this if you're still a Muslim believing woman. Again, notice I'm stressing the word believing woman. To me, maybe these people are taking Muslim like an ethnic thing. Maybe, you know how like Jewish people do. You know, you can be a white person, but you're Jewish, and then you claim that you're Jewish even though you don't practice the religion anymore. But they still talk like, oh, I'm Jewish. You know, but they mean ethnically they're Jewish. They don't believe in Judaism anymore. Some of them are atheists, but oh yeah, I'm Jewish, but you're atheist though. So it's like they treat the word Jew like an ethnic thing. They're still white people, right? In other words, they're still a Caucasian white person, but they'll claim their Jewish thing even though they don't practice the religion. Could it be that these people are claiming Muslim as an ethnic thing? Maybe, I don't know. You know, maybe they're acting like Muslim is their ethnicity, even though they don't believe in Islam. But no, we can't have that. A Muslim is a word. It even means that one who submits, right? One who submits to Allah is the understanding. So even by definition of the word, you can't even run around using the word Muslim like as if it's your ethnicity, right? A Muslim is a person who believes and practices the religion of Islam. It's not your ethnicity if you don't practice it or believe in it anymore. But as we can see right here from the Quran, it's very clear. The word is khimar for head covering. Now, some translations put veil, but I think the translations that put head covering are more accurate because it comes from the word the khimar, right? It's something that covers your head, right? It's something that covers the head. So you see, as Muhammad Assad's translation, and you also have Shakir and a number of other translations put the word head covering. Note, let's read the verse, brothers and sisters. What does it say? Tell the who? The believing women. Who? All women. No. The believing women. There it is right there. Tell the believing women to lower their gaze and be mindful of their chastity, and not to display their charms beyond what may be apparent thereof. Hence, let them draw their head coverings over their bosom. Clear. Okay? It's clear, Muslims. It's clear. If you don't want to cover, please don't play like you are, like you're obeying Allah still. Right? Please don't play that game, because that's what people try to do too. Right? If you got a problem with your covering, deal with it yourself. But please don't try to make it seem like, this is not a required Muslim thing for believing Muslim women. Please don't play that game with us. You're playing yourself, because the Quran is going to refute you. The Quran is going to refute you. If you personally or individually are a sister struggling with your covering, let that be what it is. But don't try to make excuses for it and act like that's not what is mandated in the Quran. Okay? So if you're a sister and you still believe, but you're having, some individual problems with covering or whatever, then let that be what it is. But don't make excuses. Just say, I'm dealing with it. I'm trying to struggle with the covering, whatever. But don't make excuses. Don't try to act like this is not something that Allah clearly tells you that you have to do. You see? Because that's my issue with it. If you have a problem with it, that's your problem with it. But don't act like it's not right there in the Quran, where Allah says right there, tell the believing women to do this. Okay? It says it right there. You can't miss it. You can't escape it. You can't get around it. And no, don't tell me that, it just means to dress modestly. No, it clearly says head covering. If you want to get into the Arabic, the word qimar means a head covering. Right? It even comes from the root word of qamar, which is something that intoxicates, right? Or what? Clouds the head. Something that would cloud your head. So it came from that same root. Qimar is something that covers your head. So even if we get into the Arabic word, you can't escape it. You're not going to be able to get around it. So I repeat, if that's your own individual thing, may Allah help you and strengthen you. But don't try to make excuses like this is something that's not, that this is something made up in Islam. No, it's right there in the Quran. Okay, it's right there in the Quran. So again, like I said, I challenge any Muslim woman, believing Muslim woman, who agrees with Yasmin Muhammad. Please let me know. Send me an email. contact me through my Twitter, my YouTube. Send me a message. And if you're one of these people who is a believing Muslim woman and you want to be free from hijab and burn it happily, or just be free from it or whatever, please contact me. Let's have a show. Let's discuss this. We want to know. We want to know how you claim to still be a Muslim woman and yet you want to be free from hijab when it's something that Allah has mandated. Right? It's something that Allah has mandated. Right? I used to be a non-Muslim. I used to eat pork. Right? I don't eat pork no more. Why? Because Allah says don't eat it. How could I sit here and claim, oh yeah, I'm still a good, believing, practicing Muslim? Oh, but I eat pork. I still eat it. No, how could I say that? I'm disobeying. I'm blatantly disobeying what Allah said not to do. Right? We're not perfect. No one's perfect. Right? No one's perfect. I'm not a perfect man. I have my shortcomings, my weaknesses, my trials, my tribulations, as we all do. But you will never hear me make excuses for it. If I'm wrong in something Islamically, look, I'm not gonna make no excuses for it. I'll let it be what it is. I'm dealing with it. I'm struggling with this or that. But Allah says I'll still say it. But Allah says I can't. I'm not supposed to be doing this. Right? I'll just say, hey, look, Allah says I'm not supposed to be doing it. Right now I'm weak, I'm struggling, I'm having an issue. I know Allah says, but I'm not. You won't hear me say, but hey, but pork is good for you. It has nutrients and vitamins in it. It's nutritious. You're not gonna hear me do that. I'll just put it on the table as it is. No excuses. I'm struggling with this. I'm having a problem. I'm weak right now. Whatever. But never try to make seem that what Allah has ordered is allowed and it's okay to do that. No. Okay. So let me make that clear. I'm not a perfect person. I do have my shortcomings, my weaknesses, whatever, my trials that I might go through, like we all go through. But as I said, I won't come out and try to make it like it's halal for me to be doing something that's clearly haram. You just have to be honest with it. Just be like, look, I can't, I'm having a struggle with it. But I'll always tell you that Allah said, don't do it. I'm not supposed to be doing this. It's not an excuse, but it's just the truth. Right? So like I said, I would love that to happen. If anybody, again, whoever watches this show, a Muslim woman, I want to have a dialogue with you on a show where we discuss on dialogue this. To tell us how you say you're still Muslim, yet you want to be free from hijab. Tell us why you want to be free from hijab. Explain that to us, please. Let's discuss it. Let's dialogue about that. Okay. Now, the next verse, the next verse, wa alaikum salam. Yeah, right. They put veil, but like I said, I like the translations that put heads covering because that's more accurate. That's more literal. You know what I mean? That's more literal and more accurate. Veil, because a veil, a veil is, well, at least in the Western world, you know what I mean? In the Western world, a veil is like something like, for example, like in a wedding. In Western weddings, the woman drapes this veil over her face. So in the Western world, a veil is something that you would drape over your face. In Islam, that's niqab, right? Niqab is a veil. If you translate niqab to English, that's the word veil. Something that drapes over your face. So veil to me doesn't really convey the true meaning of the word for kimar. Kimar is more correctly translated as head covering, whereas a veil is something that a woman drapes over her face, like a wedding veil. It's a thing they drape over their face. So veil to me doesn't translate. It's not the proper translation for kimar. Head covering is more accurate. Head covering is more accurate. Then let's go to the next verse. The next verse that talks about the Muslim woman covering is chapter 33, 59. Right? Chapter 33, 59. Okay? Which reads here, once again, look at the words. O Prophet, tell your wives and your daughters and the women of everybody? No, the women of who? The believers. So it's clear that these instructions are not for all women. Okay? These instructions are not for all women. It is for the believing women. So if a country is making you cover and you're not a believer, you know, then clearly that's not from Islam, because Islam is clear that this covering, these instructions are for believing women. If you're not a believer, I agree you shouldn't have to cover. But please don't tell me that you're a Muslim woman and you don't want to do this. Especially saying you don't want to do it and you're claiming to be Muslim. All right? If you say you're struggling with covering, okay, cool. You're struggling with it. But don't say I'm a Muslim woman and I don't want to do it. Because then that's saying you don't want to obey Allah. You see the difference? If you're a Muslim woman, but you're struggling with your covering, okay, you're struggling with it. May Allah bring you up to the level where you feel comfortable covering, no matter where you are, right? But if you're a Muslim woman saying you don't want to do it, then you might as well say, I don't want to be Muslim, right? Just say, hey, I don't want to be Muslim no more. Because again, how can you reconcile your position claiming to still be a Muslim with what the Quran is telling you to do? The Quran is telling you to do it right here in these two verses clearly. Can't get around it. So here's the second verse. It says, O Prophet, say to your wives and your daughters and the women of the believers that they do something. Do what? Let down their overgarments over themselves. This would be more proper. That they may be known. See that? Allah wants you to be recognized as a Muslim woman. Because I've heard this excuse too, right? I've heard this excuse that, oh, especially in Western countries, that, oh, it brings attention to me. Aren't we supposed to avoid attention? You're supposed to avoid the negative attention of, people looking at you, your form and your shape, As you can see from the verse, Allah wants you to be recognized as a Muslim woman. So that it says what? So that they may be known. So Allah wants you to be known that you're a Muslim woman, a modest woman, a virtuous woman, if we go deeper into it, right? And here the same thing. The Arabic word is jilbab, right? Jilbab. Jilbab is an overgarment, a cloak type garment that you put over yourself. So it's clear, and these two things together is what makes up what is called hijab. All right, I want everybody to understand these two things. The chapter 24:31, which mentions the head covering, that the woman covers her head and covers over her bosom, her chest area, and the jilbab, which is the overgarment or cloak that she wears. This is what is called, or what makes up what is termed hijab. But it's clear that Allah speaks about the covering of the Muslim woman very clearly. Right? Very clearly. There's no denying, there's no getting around it. Again, I stress that both verses mention the believing women. Both verses mention the believing women. Okay? So it's clear, it's right there. There is no way to get around it. All right? So this agenda is, like we said, we don't want anyone to be fooled, right? We don't want anyone to be fooled by this. We don't anyone, especially non-Muslims, to think that this is something that believing Muslim women want. This is not something that believing Muslim women want. No. So don't be fooled. Any non-Muslims who watch this, don't think that this is something that believing Muslim women want. The women who don't want this, they're not believers. These people are not believers. They're ex-Muslims, or they're people who don't want to be Muslim, and that's fine. That's fine. If you don't want to be a Muslim, fine. But don't play like you're a Muslim and trying to act like this is something that Muslim women want. Because that's not the case. That's not the case. So this stop supporting hijab thing is definitely an anti-Islamic movement and agenda attached to it. Don't be fooled by that. Don't be deceived by that. What's this due to? Hey, chocolate Muslim. Salam, Muhammad, salam. Now, don't use the word chocolate Muslim, man. Say something other than call it what it is, man. Because chocolate is good, right? Chocolate is good, so don't call them chocolate Muslims, man. Call them what they are, fake, fake Muslims or ex-Muslims or whatever, but not chocolate, man. Because chocolate is delicious, right? People like chocolate. But the agenda is clear that, and this is really it's really anti-Muslim propaganda, right? Because and here's another thing too. When you look at a lot of the tweets, a lot of these people they actually include Islam in their statements. So I was like, look, if this is not anti-Islamic, then why don't you just say, call it Women Wear What You Want Day? Call it that. Why does it have to be hijab? Why are you targeting the hijab? If this is not against Islam, as you claim, which it really is against Islam, then I'm saying, look, then why don't you call it something, that doesn't have to involve Islam then? Just call it Women Wear What You Want Day. But it's clear that their agenda is anti-Islamic, right? It's clear that that's what their agenda is. So they even got this thing, support Muslim women in fight against hijab. I mean, that even sounds stupid. It even sounds silly. Support Muslim women in fight against hijab. Really? That doesn't even make sense. That doesn't even make sense. But that's the game that they're playing on people. Like this is something that Muslim women want. Come on, be serious. Be serious. Be serious about this. Islam and the future of tolerance. Screening question and answers with Yasmin. And see, this is the other thing too. First of all, why is she being invited to speak on this issue? Islam and the future of tolerance. You're not a Muslim anymore. So how are you sitting here speaking for Muslim women? Right? So this is the game that they're being played. They're trying to make this seem like this is some kind of you know support for Muslim women, when in reality this is really about people who don't want to be Muslim anymore, people who are against Islam, and they're using this to run that game, you know. And like I said, if you go to the hashtag for no hijab and look at the comments, let's see if we can pull some up. You'll see that the anti-Islamic agenda is right there. That's part of it. But they want to claim, oh no, this is not about being, it's not about being against Islam. Yeah, sure, sure, it's not. Meanwhile, the comments and the statements are right there. And here's another thing too. I don't want to show this picture because it's the woman showing her breast. But that's the other thing that's connected to this as well. There's a tweet that I saw that there's this girl. Her name is, what's her name? Her name is Aliyah Al Mahdi or Mahdi, and she has a sign. It looks like she's at some event where there's Muslims at. There's like two Muslim sisters who are covered in the front, and then she's standing in the background. She doesn't have a top on. Her breasts are out, right? Her breasts are out, and she has written on her body that her breasts are not an awra, which is of course completely asinine, because even in Western societies, they consider your breast your private parts for women, right? Even in a Western society, as liberal as it is, they still consider a woman's breast her private parts. So if a woman walks around with her breast out, you would get arrested for indecent exposure, even in the West. But like I said, I'm not going to show the picture, but it's a woman. She's out. She has like these red things on her nipples, and her sign says, "Hijab is sexism. Hijab is sexism, not anti-racism." But what I find interesting about that is that she's her sign says that, and yet here she is using sexism to protest, right? Because that's Western sexism. That the woman is nothing but her titties and her booty and all of that, right? That's Western sexism. So how are you trying to fight against hijab by showing yourself with your titties out, talking about hijab is not sexism? Meanwhile, what you're doing is an example of sexism in the West, right? Because that's what the West says. The West says the woman is nothing but her titties and her booty and her thighs and all that stuff like that, right? That's Western sexism. So how are you trying to fight Islam with that? Claiming that, you know what I'm saying? Claiming that you're supporting this, but this is how you do. It's just crazy, man. These people are crazy. But this ties into what the Quran says, that, you know, they want you to disbelieve. They want you to be like them, right? They want you to be like them. The Muslim woman who covers modestly puts these women to shame. Because even in your society, you know damn well that the woman who dresses like that, you're looked upon as a slut and a hoe and a whore. That's why they even have things now in the West, right? They have this movement. I don't know if you guys have this in the UK, but there's this thing over here in America called the slut walk, right? It's called the slut walk, and they have this thing called slut shaming, meaning that, you know, if you talk about a woman who's a slut or a hoe or a whore, that you're slut shaming her. In other words, they want to take the stigma off being a whore. They want to remove the societal stigma of being a loose and promiscuous woman. So they say, oh, if you talk about a woman like that, you're slut shaming. So in other words, how stop talking about a woman like that. Take the stigma off it, right? Take the stigma off a promiscuous woman, loose woman who sleeps around. Stop using those type of language. Just let a woman be a whore. Let her sleep around. Let her do whatever, right? Okay. All right. We had a little disconnection there. So can you guys still hear me? You still there? Still connected? So that's the thing. Being and going to misogynist. I don't know what happened. This thing keeps restarting and stopping and restarting and stopping. So yeah, so you knew, so you see what I'm saying? So this is all connected to this thing where it's an attempt to, you know, discredit and disparage the Muslim woman because, you know, like Allah says, they want to lower you to their level. The Muslim woman is a sign of a virtuous woman, and they in themselves they feel ashamed by that, right? The women who are loose and want to dress revealing and show themselves, the Muslim woman puts them to shame. So like Allah says, they want you to be on their level. They want to lower you down, sisters, to their level. So that way they don't feel bad no more. So they can see you uncovered too, just like them. So they don't have to feel shame and bad anymore. Right? But even in their society, as somebody showed, what's the symbol of the virtuous woman in Western society? The nun, right? Or pictures of Mary, the mother of Jesus. She's the sign of a virtuous woman, correct? When they show her how is she covered, she's covered like a Muslim woman. She has on a gown that you can't see her form. She has her head covered. And they always depict her and paint her as a woman of virtue. So sisters, you stay strong. You stay strong, sisters. Don't let these people try to disparage you or discourage you with their propaganda and their anti-Muslim agenda. Don't fall for it. If you believe, then stand strong as a believer, right? Stand strong as a believer, because that's all it is. I mean, you know, and subhanAllah, that's how I see how Allah's wisdom is. That Allah's telling you. Allah said it from back then. He knows what's going on. He knows what He already said. They want you to be on their level. Out of envy, Allah says, out of envy from themselves, they want you to get away from Islam, and that's all that's the agenda of this movement. They're trying to play it like, oh, it's Muslims, you know. But here's the other thing too. One more last point about the you know, how they claim that this is oppression for women, right? That the hijab is oppression. It's really the other way around, brothers and sisters. You want me to prove it to you? Here, I'm gonna prove it to you. That it's really the other way around. Why? Because even social scientists and psychologists in their own society are telling us that their women are being mentally oppressed by the effects of sexual objectification. Let's take a look at it. Let's take a look at it. As you can see here, many psychologists, there's many reports and studies about this, of the effects of sexual objectification on women's mental health. So you see how they play the game? See how they play women? See how they playing the Muslim woman, how they trying to play the Muslim woman? They want to tell you that you covering yourself is you're being oppressed. When you cover yourself, you're being oppressed, Muslim woman. But then on the other side, they tell you that, well, in our society, yeah, our women are having a problem with sexual objectification because they're uncovered and they're showing themselves, and therefore there's this thing that they're being, you know, of the sexual objectification of themselves. See? And it's causing them mental problems. See? So they got you thinking that, oh, look, the way she's covered, that's oppression. So go ahead, take that off. Take that off and expose yourselves. Show yourself, right? Wear what you want to wear, they say. But then look what they're telling you, that your women are having mental problems because of sexual objectification. See that? So you're actually you're being tricked. You're being told that your uncovering is your freedom. Meanwhile, reality, it's your oppression. Meanwhile, it's really your own oppression. Because now you don't feel happy. Because now when you're uncovered, now you think her body looks better than yours. Her hairstyle is better than yours. Her shape, her form, her breasts are bigger than yours, or her behind is bigger than yours, and yours is smaller, and you need a bigger one, and you need bigger breasts, and you got to get plastic surgery, and you don't like this, you don't like that, you think you're too fat, you think you're too skinny, you want to starve yourself, you want to throw up, you want to be bulimic, you want to be anorexic, or you need to get thicker, so you want to inject silicone in your breast, silicone in your thighs, get butt implants. You want to do all of this to yourself because now you don't think you're good enough. But the Muslim woman who's covered, she's oppressed and you're free. You're free, yeah. Now you're uncovered, you're free. Now you don't feel happy about yourself. But you're free though, they told you, right? They told you were free. Then you realize you're not. You're not really free because now you're a slave to competing with women and their bodies and this and that. But see, the Muslim woman covering, it took that away, right? It took away that. Well, you don't have to worry about, is my butt big like hers? Or am I too fat or too skinny? No, see? But that's oppression, they say. But here you really are oppressed here. This is your oppression, as you can see on the screen. You're the one who's actually oppressed. Right? It's affecting them. We even see the effects of it with young girls, they say. Sexualization of young girls in entertainment. And then these young girls grow up to be the women who are oppressed by the looks, that they don't look good enough. They're oppressed by the society's standards of what beauty is supposed to be. So now they're not happy. But you're free though, they told you, right? You have freedom, right? You're uncovered, right? You can wear what you want to wear, you're free. But you're not though, because now you're enslaved to worrying about, are you pretty enough? Are you skinny enough? Are you thick enough? Huh? Are your breasts big enough? Is your behind big enough? Are you shapely enough or you're not shapely? You're too fat. You're too skinny. You're not this, you're not that. You don't look good. You're not sexy. You're not pretty. You're not, you see? So This is the big game. This is the big agenda that they're playing. And so all I'm saying is that, look, don't fall for this deception, right? Don't fall for this deception. Don't be tricked by it. Don't fall for the no hijab, right? For the not supporting the hijab thing. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. Again, if you're not Muslim and you don't want to cover, I agree. You shouldn't be forced to cover. You shouldn't be forced to cover because the Quran is clear. This is something for believing women. Okay? So I made that point clear. I'm making that point clear that if you're not a believer and you don't want to cover, fine. You shouldn't be forced to cover because it's not for you anyway. Right? As the Quran clearly demonstrates, it's for the believing women. So I'm not in favor of women who don't believe and who don't want to cover covering. Because as the Quran shows, it's not meant for you anyway. Okay? But please don't play this game and don't try to spread this amongst Muslims or Muslim women that we should, that the hijab is not part of Islam and that the believing Muslim woman doesn't have to cover. Like I said, if you're struggling with your covering, then let that be what it is. Let it be that you're struggling with your covering. But don't try to make this like, you want this to become an acceptable thing amongst Muslims. It can't be because the Quran is clear that the Muslim woman is supposed to cover. Okay? So don't try to spread that amongst us like we're supposed to accept this thing. I repeat, if you're not a believing Muslim woman and you don't want to cover, you should not. I agree with you. You shouldn't be forced to cover. If a country is forcing you to cover and you're not a believer, then by all means, I agree. They shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be forced to cover. You should not be forced to cover. I agree with that. You shouldn't be forced. But as I said, don't make this thing as if this is something that should be made acceptable amongst Muslims or that this is something that Muslim women want. No, the people who don't want to cover, as you're showing, these people are not Muslims. Right? At least not practicing Muslim. Like I said, maybe they're using Muslim as an ethnic description of themselves. Like I talked about earlier, maybe they're using it as a description, as an ethnic description of themselves, like many Jews, like many white European Jews do, white American Jews do. They don't practice Judaism at all, but they'll tell you they're Jewish. Ethnically they're Jewish, but they don't practice the religion. Perhaps these people are doing the same thing. But again, don't try to make this like this is some agenda that believing Muslims need to accept. If you don't want to practice Islam, I repeat, don't do it. If you're not a believing Muslim woman and you don't want to cover, don't cover. And you shouldn't be forced to. I agree. You should not be forced to do it. If there's a Muslim sister who is a Muslim who says she's a believer and she's struggling with the covering, then help the sister. Other sisters help her, encourage her, you know, to get to the level where she can wear it. All right? But please don't make excuses for it. Don't make excuses like you're not supposed to do it. All right? Don't make excuses like you're not supposed to do it either though. Because again, you won't be able to get around what the Quran says. Okay? So we'll conclude it with that. I appreciate everyone tuning in to the show. And like I said, please, my challenge or my invitation is there for if there is an actual Muslim woman who is, as the tweet had said, a Muslim woman who want to be free from hijab, we would like to talk with you. I would like to have a dialogue with you, a discussion with you, to see, where your thinking is at and why you feel that you're still a Muslim, a believer, practicing Muslim, and yet you want to be free from hijab. Let's talk about it. Let's discuss it. Let's dialogue with it. Let's see. Let's get to the root cause. Let's find out what's the reason. If such a woman exists. Like I said, I'm open. So like I said, send me an email. Contact me through my Twitter. You can contact me through here on YouTube. And let's discuss this. I'm very curious. I'm very interested to really hear from such a Muslim woman, if there is such. All right. So we'll end it on that. Again, don't fall for the no hijab deception, because that's exactly what it is. It's really anti-Muslim propaganda disguised as Muslim women's freedom, when in reality it has nothing to do with that. It's just another anti-Islamic, it's just another thing, another branch of the anti-Islamic movement to try to demonize Islam, demonize Muslims. That's really all it is. Okay. A lot of these people again are ex-Muslims, or people who don't want to be Muslims or whatever. So as I said, if that's the case, then let that be what it is. Let that be what it is. If you don't want to be Muslim, then you don't want to be Muslim. But don't play this game that you're still a Muslim and you want to be free from hijab. No. No, no, nobody who's smart enough, intelligent, is believing that nonsense. All right. All right. So we ended on that. Again, we could use your support. All right. So if you're watching now and you want to support, again, we have the links in the description of this video. You could always, if you're watching this recording at a later time, those links are always available. Okay, they're always available at any time. You could come to any of these videos and put up your donation, your sponsorship. Like I said, again, I'm looking for more people to join my Patreon site. All right, which I said that allows you to make a monthly pledge. You can make a monthly pledge to support our platform on a monthly basis. Um, and that way, it could be done on a regular basis. If you want to do individual donations, again, you can avail yourself of the links in the video, in the description of this video. You could also purchase our book, He Never Was God: How Scripture Shows Jesus Was Fully a Man and Not God. It is available as an ebook or in paperback. You can purchase our DVD, Takia, the lie they made against Islam. All of these things will help support our platform and help us to, get our work out there on a larger scale. All right. Well, thank you, brothers and sisters, for tuning in, and we will see you on the next topic. All right, inshallah. All right. Assalamu alaikum.